Hello friends, welcome to our channel Knowledge Amplifier. So today in this particular video, I am going to discuss how you can communicate in between DynamoDB, which is one of the very popular NoSQL database system, and Apache Hive, which is basically running in EMR cluster in a particular AWS account. Okay, right. So basically we'll be seeing how to export the data from DynamoDB table to a particular S3 location using Hive, and simultaneously we'll be also seeing how to import the data from a particular S3 bucket to DynamoDB table via Hive. Okay, both import and export. Okay, so without any further delay, let us directly jump into AWS Management Console. So as a first step, what I am going to do, I am going to launch an EMR cluster. Okay, so here I'll be opening in a new tab, and then here first I need to create one key value, that is ppk file I have to generate, so that we can use that one for logging in EMR cluster. Okay, so I'll be going to key pair, and here I'll be going to create key pair. Okay, so name I can give demo yt hive dynamo. Okay, download the ppk file. Okay, right, and here create the key pair. Okay, so here key pair is downloaded, which we can use to log in EMR using putty. Okay, right, and then here we'll go to create cluster, go to advanced option, and here release, let it be Hadoop required, Hive required, Hue not required. For this POC peak also I am cancelling, only Hive and Hadoop is sufficient. Okay, right, and then here step function, I no need to add any explicitly step. Okay, cluster auto terminate, no, I don't want. Auto terminate is basically kind of required when we are trying for transient cluster, but currently I'm just showing with respect to a POC, so persistent cluster is fine. Okay, so here cluster enters waiting state, and then here we'll go to next. Okay, let it be default whatever network and EC2 subnet is there, and then here number of cores, I require only one core for this demo. I am using a very small data set. Okay, and then here the cluster will be terminated after 1 hour being ideal. Yeah, that is fine, no problem. Okay, then here I can go to next. Okay, debugging and termination protection I am disabling, logging will be happening here. Cluster name demo yt hive dynamo. Okay, I am giving, and then here I will go to next, and let EC2 key pair. So basically just now what we created, that one we are going to use, right? So which one just now we created, that is basically demo yt hive dynamo. So that one we are going to choose. So demo yt hive dynamo, and then here we are going to create the cluster. Okay, so here our EMR cluster is now in starting phase. We have to wait a little bit until and unless it reaches to waiting state. Okay, so till then, if you check this particular notepad file, what I'll be giving in the description box also. So first use case, what we are going to see, export data from DynamoDB to S3 using Hive. Okay, so for that what we are doing, basically we need a DynamoDB which is basically acting like a source. So if I show you my DynamoDB in AWS Management Console, I'll be going, and then here I'll be going to DynamoDB. Okay, and here if I go to tables, here India dataset one table is there, right? So if I go to export table items, you'll be saying some records are present here. Okay, so this one we want to export in a particular S3 location using Hive. Okay, so for that what we are doing, first in Hive we'll be creating a database, hello testing, and then we'll be using that particular database. And then if you see this particular code, this is basically connecting Hive and DynamoDB. Okay, one Hive table we are creating which is pointing to that DynamoDB. Okay, so obviously you can understand it is not a managed table, it is going to be an external table because data is sitting in DynamoDB, but we are going to use the data in Hive. So obviously kind of external table concept is coming. So that's why here we have written create external table, and this is the table name. Okay, then here we have mentioned the schema. Okay, sentiment title, if you see sentiment title, which is basically you can understand what is the title sentiment. Okay, so basically this dataset is nothing but news data extracted from news API. Okay, so what is the sentiment of the title? We basically analyzed using AWS comprehend, and then it came as neutral. Then here basically publish time. Okay, at what time the news got published, so that is also we can take as string type, no problem, but for better data analysis you can convert this to timestamp and play around it. For the time being I am keeping everything very simple, so publish time also will be choosing as string only. Then content. Okay, in that main news the first 100 or 200 characters we are extracting as content. Okay, and for that content what is the sentiment, that also we are analyzing. So currently in this particular DynamoDB table there are two kind of sentiment available. One is what is the sentiment of the title the comprehend is predicting, another one is sentiment content. Okay, that for first 200 characters what is the sentiment the AWS comprehend is predicting. Okay, that also we are capturing here. And then title. Okay, what is the title based on which analysis is happening, and the URL of the news. Okay, these are some informations we are gathering. So based on that here we have defined the schema. Okay, right, all are string type, no problem. Then here very important, so if you want to connect with DynamoDB and Hive, you have to specify this stored by org.apache.hadoop.hive.dynamodb.this. Exactly copy paste. No need to think much. Just you can use this particular one. And if you want to explore the backend stuff, then you can check the Apache documentation. No problem. Okay. Then here table properties. Okay. Here you need to change little bit. DynamoDB table name will be same equal to. Here you need to specify that particular DynamoDB table where basically our this Hive table will be pointing to. So if you see our DynamoDB table name is India dataset, right? So that's why I have given here India dataset. And then comma DynamoDB column mapping. Okay, what it should happen? It should specify that which DynamoDB column will be mapped to which column of Hive table. Okay, so like here in my this particular case DynamoDB table column names and Hive table column names are same only, so I am just giving same thing. Sentiment title of DynamoDB table should be mapped to sentiment title of Hive table, same like publish time, both things same. Like that I have specified with colon, like key value pair, and each key value pair are basically separated with comma. Like that you can think. Just make a note that these things are case sensitive. Okay, so be very careful while writing this kind of DDL. Okay, otherwise it might throw error or null values. Okay, so make sure you are giving the same case whatever is used in DynamoDB table, right? So this is pretty much our Hive DDL. If we execute this one, then this Hive table will basically point to the DynamoDB table. Okay, so let's see what is the situation of our EMR. So if I refresh this particular page, okay, cluster is ready, right? So we'll be checking that. And then here once we execute this kind of create statement, then we can execute any kind of query on that Hive table. In the backend it will be going to the DynamoDB table and it will be executing that. Okay, right? And then here suppose I want to load the data from DynamoDB table to S3, then what we can do, already we have this Hive table which is pointing to the DynamoDB table, right? Another table will be creating, which is an external table. Maybe table name is exporter we have given, same kind of schema whatever earlier we discussed. Just here we are specifying the CSV format and pointing to a separate S3 location. Okay, DynamoDB storer. Okay, now what we will do once we create this kind of table, basically this is also another external table which is pointing to this S3 location. Then we will insert the data from the first table to the exporter table. That is insert into exporter as select star from this table. This table is nothing but our first table, right? So that way what will happen, from the first table which is pointing to the DynamoDB, the data will be inserted in this particular exporter table which is pointing to this S3 location. Okay, and at the end of the day in the S3 we will be getting the data as CSV format whatever present in DynamoDB. Okay, not only that, here I am just showing demo with CSV. If you want you can use stored as Parquet in this particular Hive DDL, then the DynamoDB data will be inserted in this particular second Hive table as Parquet format. So in the S3 you will be getting Parquet data. Okay, and Parquet is obviously optimized if you are having very big volume of data in DynamoDB. Then with respect to storage complexity and cost, obviously you can go with Parquet because it compresses the data by a huge amount. So that kind of optimization you can do. But for the time being, I am just showing a simple case, that is we will be exporting the data from DynamoDB to S3 location using CSV file. Okay, so what we did, first we created a Hive table which is pointing to that particular DynamoDB table, and then we created another Hive table which is pointing to a S3 location where we want to export the data, and then we are inserting the data from the DynamoDB table, basically from the Hive table which is pointing to the DynamoDB table to that table where our S3 table is there in the backend, right? Simple thing, nothing complicated we did, right? Now what I will do, before proceeding ahead, I will be creating my S3 location where basically we want to export the data. Okay, so I'll be going to S3, and then here we'll be creating the bucket. Okay, so here if you check, this particular exporter table should export the data in this particular bucket, so that's what we are giving. You can change the location where you want to export, and then simply I am creating the bucket. Okay, cool. Now bucket is created, it should work. All I will do, I will go to this particular cluster, and security group for master I'll be going, and I'll be changing the inbound rule little bit so that I can easily connect with putty. Okay, so this is the master security group, I'll be choosing that, and then here edit inbound rule. Okay, all I will do, I will, for the time being, I will allow all traffic. Okay, but you can make it more secure by specifying certain IPs. Okay, and then here all IPv6 also I'll be allowing, and here I'll be choosing IPv6, and then here I am going to save the rule. Okay, right? And then what I will do, I'll be choosing this particular public DNS. Okay, and copy that, and then here I'll be going to putty. Okay, and I'll paste that, and I'll be choosing that authentication, whatever key value pair we generated, that one we'll be using. Okay, so I'll be going to downloads, that is this particular one just now we created. I'll open that, and I'll click on open. It should work. Let's see. Yes. And then login as you know, common default thing, Hadoop is the thing what you have to write to login, and see we logged in EMR. Okay, now the next step is we have to log in Hive. Okay, then we'll be executing first database creation code. Okay, right? Let me change the settings so that it will not have timeout issue. I will make this 200. Okay, I'll apply this, and see currently we are in Hive cell. So as a first step, we are creating the database. Okay, database created. We are using this particular database. Okay, right? And then here we'll be using this particular code, which will basically create a Hive table under this hello testing database pointing to that DynamoDB table. Okay, so here it is pretty much it, and I will hit enter. Let's see whether we are getting some error or not. No, see, it is perfectly getting executed. Okay, you can execute certain queries, like for example, select content from this particular table where sentiment of the content is negative. Okay, let's see. If I run this particular one, we should get some result. First, let's see in DynamoDB what is there. So if I show you the DynamoDB sentiment content where it is negative, see, only one thing is negative. Here it is giving two things. The Prime Minister said last week or it me something. Okay, let's see what we are getting in Hive. See, two things the Prime Minister said last week or it me. Okay, so basically whatever is present in DynamoDB, that we are able to query from Hive. Okay, right? Different things you can do. Maybe you can check select count star from this particular table. Okay, where sentiment equal to neutral. Okay, let's see how many neutral things are there. Neutral sentiment. Okay, if I done this particular one, let's see in DynamoDB how much there. So if you see, these are the total records, and here actually all are neutral only apart from one. So how many total records? Total records are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 20 records are there. Out of that, only one record is having negative sentiment as content. So we should get 19 as result. See, we are getting 19, right? So I hope you are understanding this, that we are basically querying Hive table, but actually it is getting executed against the DynamoDB. Okay. Now we want to export the data. Okay. So if you see DynamoDB storer, if I go here currently no object is there. Let me refresh this. See, no object is there, right? What I will do, I will create another external Hive table which is pointing to that particular S3 location DynamoDB storer just now what we created, and row format delimited fields terminated by comma. That means we are going to use as CSV format. Okay, so here let's run this particular one. Let's see whether we are getting error or not, and it is done. Now once it is done, what we'll do, we will insert the data from the first table to this second table. Okay, so in the back end it will be going to this particular S3 location and it will be stored as CSV file. Okay, right? So let's see, let's run this, and the Hive internally in the back end started the map reduce activities. Okay, soon we should get some result. Okay, it is done. So let's go to this particular S3 location. If I refresh this page, here we should see the result. Okay, we are getting the result, and let's download. Okay, it is downloaded, and here show in folder if I do. So this is the one. Let me open with Notepad and show you. So basically this is how we exported the data from DynamoDB to S3 using Hive. Okay, see, comma separated values we are getting now, right? Perfect. Okay, now what next we are going to learn. So this is one activity where we understood how to export the data from DynamoDB to S3 using Hive. Now the reverse thing. Okay, suppose we are having some data present in S3, and what we'll do first, we'll create a Hive table which is basically external Hive table which is pointing to that particular S3 location data, right? And then using that Hive table we'll try to load the data in a DynamoDB table. Okay, right? So for that purpose I am going to create one S3 bucket where we'll be uploading some data. Okay, and this is the one JSON loader demo, simple thing I am keeping, and then here create bucket. Okay, right? So here let it give some time. So here our bucket is created. Okay, so here what we are going to do, we are going to upload some JSON data. Okay, so the JSON data also I'll be providing in the description box so that you can use this for your POC purpose. Let me show you the JSON data once. Okay, so if I go to images, here this is my JSON data, and if I do open with Notepad and click on OK, see here we are having JSON data, right? GUID, then is active, balance, age, first name, last name, and company name. This is the basically schema. Okay, right? So first thing is done. S3 bucket where basically our data is there, it is there, right? See here, if I go to S3, here our data is there. Okay, now we want to ingest the data in a DynamoDB table. Okay, so for that we are going to create a DynamoDB table which is having the name JSON loader. Okay, so here I will be going to tables. Okay, and then here create table I'll be going, and JSON loader. What will be our partition key? As you can see here, GUID. So basically this kind of ID kind of column. So we can use this. Okay, partition key, and let it be string. I'm fine with that. And then here I am creating this table. Okay, right? So once that is done, what we are going to do, first we are going to create an external Hive table which is having the name JSON migration, which will have the schema like GUID, is active, balance, age is integer kind of column, so I have given int, first name, last name, company, and that is JSON data stored in S3, right? Where basically we are going to create external Hive table on top of that S3 JSON data. So that's why we are specifying the location of that S3 location, and for JSON format you have to specify this thing. Okay, ACRDE means serialization, deserialization. So JSON serialization, deserialization you have to use to create some external Hive table which is pointing to some JSON data. Okay, right. So as a pre-activity, our this JSON loader is created. If I go and here, if I click on explore table item, currently it is empty. First step, we will be creating one external Hive table pointing to that JSON location. Okay, and it is done. Okay, if you want, you can query this table also. Maybe select star from JSON migration. Okay, and here you will be seeing complete data. Whatever, now you are seeing as tabular format, right? From JSON in Hive it is converted to tabular format. Okay, now we are going to create another Hive table which is pointing to the dynamodb table which just now we created. Okay, having same schema. Okay, right, only thing keep in mind, age is in integer in Hive, but we have to keep as double because in dynamodb double works, not int. Okay, and this is the Hive table name. And then see, stored by, same thing what we used earlier, that common thing you have to use. Just in the table properties, the dynamodb table name, whatever you have given, that you need to paste. Okay, so here this is the JSON loader is the dynamodb table name. So here I'll be giving that. Okay, so JSON loader is our dynamodb table name, and dynamodb column mappings. Okay, how the column should be mapped in between dynamodb and Hive. Okay, that you need to mention. Okay, so for this dynamodb column, this is the Hive column, like that we have mentioned. And then here let's execute this. Okay, so here I'll be going and then let's run this. Let's see. Okay, it is done. Now we'll insert the data in this particular second table from the first table. So as a result, what will happen? First table is pointing to that S3 JSON data. From there the data will be inserted in the second table, which say where second table is pointing to the dynamodb location. Okay, so here let's run this. Okay, here MapReduce is started. Soon we will be seeing data in our this particular dynamodb location. Okay, that's how you can import or export the data and communicate in between data lake, that is S3, Hive and dynamodb. Okay, very important concept. I hope you are trying to feel this. Okay, and then all these codes, the data set, whatever I am using, I'll be posting in the description box or in the comment section, so that you can use this for your POC. And some more documentation link also I'll be providing. Just go through the documentation, because currently what I am showing is just a POC kind of thing, basically kind of door. I can show you only the door, but you are the one who have to walk through it. Okay, that time you in your particular business requirement, where you are using this concept, there you might face some other challenges. Okay, that time you need to explore more, might be. Okay, so for that I'll be providing some links also, useful links also, where AWS has beautifully documented these concepts. Okay, and surely that will help you to understand this communication in between Hive and dynamodb in a much better way. Okay, so let's wait for some time until this communication ends. Okay, this MapReduce get completed. Okay, so this also depends on dynamodb read capacity unit, write capacity unit. So all also make a very important note there. Okay, you should not be investing complete write capacity unit only for Hive. That way you have to design the architecture. Otherwise, when Hive will be writing the data, other applications may not write the data in dynamodb and something might break. Okay, so all these things you need to keep in mind. And anyway, our MapReduce is completed. If I go to dynamodb and then refresh this particular page, we should be seeing data. See, whatever was present in S3, now we are getting in dynamodb. Okay, so this is how basically you can communicate in between dynamodb, Hive and S3, right? I hope you understood both import and export concept. This is all for this video. If you find this video helpful, then please like, share and comment, subscribe our channel if you have not subscribed till now, and don't forget to press the bell icon to get the notification of our latest videos. Thank you.